Alright, hello, and welcome back to Duty Found. I know it's been a little while, but I've been getting things set up with a new computer, so hopefully things should look a little bit better from your end. Alright, well, today we're going into our next dungeon in Final Fantasy XIV. Last time we did Stasha, this time we'll be going into the Tam-Tara Deepcroft. I'm going to go ahead and start up the Duty Finder, and we'll see about how long it takes to get going. Check up the window, the average wait time. Oh, there we go. Once again, I will be healing for this dungeon from the white mage perspective, so we'll be able to get a nice overall view of how things are going on. This is another of the dungeons that was originally in 1.0, so it's a little bit on the bland side. Things have improved since then. Alright, we've got a paladin tank and an archer and a lancer, so two relatively new players, or just lower in jobs, and one that is a little bit further along. You need to be at least level 30 to have the advanced job paladin, so. Alright, and as the window shows there, we do have a member that's doing this for the very first time. And here we go. And Paladin seems to know what he's doing. Kinda hate. Bard is going a little AoE heavy. It's okay, it's okay. Typically when there's only two mobs you want a single target. It's a better use of your TP, but whatever. Okay, the Lancer's doing pretty good. Alright, and the tank seems to be confident in himself, and he's urging me to throw out some damage, so I'm going to oblige. Should make things go a little bit more quickly. As with a lot of the lower end dungeons, things do tend to have a relatively slow pace, so this is luckily a pretty short one, so we don't have a whole lot to worry about. If you recall from my previous video, I have pretty much the same toolkit available to me at this level as I did at the previous, this being just a single level higher. So there's not a whole lot different in what I'm able to do. Standard cure, medica for an AoE heal, Asuna so I can take care of some debuffs that are placed on party members. Got Fluid Aura here for a knockback and off global cooldown damage. Arrow applies a DOT to the mobs, and then Stone 1 applies a heavy effect as well as just deals some raw damage. At the beginning of the dungeon I did cast Protect on the party. As I had mentioned before, the white mages do have the slightly stronger Protect than anyone using it as a cross-class skill. Mine will reduce magic damage coming in as well as physical. And it looks like the Lancer leveled up. They are still level synced, so they're at a level cap. It's always nice seeing people leveling up. Up to the first boss encounter for this dungeon. Not as with the previous dungeon, it's not really much of a boss fight. It's more just a scripted encounter. As we get further along in dungeons, they do tend to become progressively more difficult with the incremental bosses, things that are actually boss paladin. But for now, just take things nice and easy. And as you can see, there was an additional mob that popped after finishing that first wave. This guy pulled 8 times. See here off to the right of my screen, there is the Duty Finder menu. That indicates what you have to do to complete the dungeon. As you complete the objectives, more will fill out. So we need to destroy these cultist orbs here. As soon as we finish off this demon, it should let us do so. There we go. Interact with that. And there we go, that one is destroyed. There is a drop here in the chest. I'll go ahead and pass that in case anyone would like it. See, there are 3 more of those orbs to take care of. And we did have an ad here, and the paladin's out of MP, so I'm actually going to have to heal a little bit. I've been spoiled, this guy knows what he's doing. There's all sorts of tricks to making low-level dungeons go faster. People doing more than their role tends to do that pretty well. And the archer is just leveled up to 20 as well. nice thing about dots, you're able to apply them to multiple mobs, and it will really increase your DPS on hand and run a lot of mobs at the same time. Okay, it looks like we're avoiding this optional section of the dungeon, so that's fine. A little bit less XP for the guys, but quicker clear overall, so. Paladin doesn't have a whole lot of MP left, so I'm just going to go ahead and handle the healing for now. The archer managed to pull an 8. Good on him. And here we are at the second boss encounter. This is much like the first, just a little bit upscaled. We have one additional imp there to take care of. Gonna go ahead and put an arrow on each of them and then switch to some healing. And here we are, another demon. One thing you'll notice is the tank is pretty good about not moving things around. That is really nice when you're dealing with melee DPS. The Lancer we have has one of their moves is position based. When they're attacking a target from the flank, they do additional damage. So you don't want to be moving the mob around too much, that way they're able to just stay in their position. They keep the maximizing potential there. That out of here for a minute, save a little bit of damage. Okay, and around the corner, and deeper we go. look at the map, see about how much further we have. Nothing too exciting in this dungeon, so not a whole lot going on. It's nice to sit back and relax and do these sorts of things every once in a while, though. Oops. Got a little too close to me. Or I got a little too close to it. Okay, gonna go in this optional little room here, it seems. There's a chest here with goodies to be had. And a couple more mobs to get some more XP for these guys. One of the best ways to level up in the game right now is to run dungeons of your appropriate level, so it's nice to take advantage of that and take on all the mobs you can find. Okay, and away we go. Yep, and I did it again. There we go. It's making things interesting. Okay. And we're coming up here on the end of the dungeon as the map is concerned. You see there's only about 2 more major rooms to go through. But this is an interesting little one. There's a line here indicating a boss encounter, but there's not actually a boss just yet. We have to go through a couple little hoops first. Need to open up this sealed barrier to get at these guys. On the wrong stance there. Always the problem with bouncing back and forth between cleric stance and off. Every once in a while you'll forget what you're doing and get stuck. And with the 5-second cooldown it can be a little dangerous when there's a lot of damage coming in if you're on the wrong stance. too significantly less healing. So, moving through here, and here we are. There's the rosary there we need. And there are plenty of opponents in this room, so let's stay on healing right now. They're under control. Help out a little bit here. Let's get a plate on it. Take this rosary, and this we will use to get into the boss arena. Right up here. So we'll go ahead and unseal this barrier. And when the tank is ready, he's going to go ahead and pull and we can get this started. This one, like before, has one additional imp to take care of and still one cultist. This one actually is a named guy. He's a little bit harder. And there are 2 orbs here, so we'll be able to finish up before the end of this fight. And Deepcroft is going to town with his AoEs there. Take care of these gravediggers. And you see in the distance here, that's the arena for the last boss. So we're coming up here on the end of the dungeon. There's another demon to take care of. A bit extra out. While I'm in here, I'm going to get some auto attacks in. I do have to initiate that. Throw a little bit more. And tank got it back. There we go. No need to panic. And with the demon's end, we can finish up these last 2 orbs. And there's loot. That is a shield primarily for casters. I'm going to go ahead and pass that in case anybody wants it for any reason. And with finishing those off, here we go. Opens up the path to the last boss. This is a Soul Flayer, Galvanth the Dominator. He has a fun little mechanic that we'll find out pretty quickly here. Make sure no one's in a cutscene, don't want to lock anybody out. Alright, here we go. Nice thing about bosses, I can feel free to Fluid Aura to just do some damage instead of having to worry about knockback. They're typically not going to go anywhere. Alright, and as you can see, there's a tether between the imp and the boss. While this imp is alive, the boss will be invulnerable, so we do need to take it out pretty quickly. That way we can actually continue fighting the boss. Looks like someone was having a little bit of connection issues, but they're okay. And there's another imp, and several other mobs spawned here. So the tank's going to go ahead and collect those, and we're going to take the imp out. Good. The archer is going to AoE, take care of those all at once. And back to the boss we are. Nice big AoE there. Let's see if we can get out. Yeah, plenty of time. Okay, we have 2 imps this time, and several other mobs, 2 skeletons and a mightling. So, probably gonna have to stay on healing here. And there are a couple on me, that's alright. Seems as if the imps don't actually attack, they just kind of sit there. Okay, let's take these guys out. Move on. And here we are, the last 10%, almost done. And getting a little break off. There we go. And that finishes off the boss, and it finishes off the dungeon. We're gonna go ahead and commend the tank, he did pretty well. And some good boots there for anyone around level 15 to 17. Pass those, they'll probably like those. Okay, and going to bid good afternoon to the party. Nice little run. And out we go. Alright, this has been the second episode of Duty Found. Today we went through the dungeon, the Tam-Tara Deepcroft, the second dungeon in Final Fantasy XIV. And now that we're out of the dungeon and out of work, I am back home. Actually, I think I bought this house after the last episode, so this is the first time you guys have seen this. This is my home in the Lavender Beds, all decked out in the front lawn, and you don't want to see the inside. It's not anywhere ready. Alright, well, thank you for joining me, and hopefully the next episode will not be quite so long a wait. I'm going to be getting in the swing of things. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions as to how I should be running this channel, feel free to contact me, and have a good night, everybody.